In the first video I did a survivor showcase. In the second video I talked about basic combat, and in this, the third video, I will talk about stage progression. When I first played this game, I was constantly staring at the clock and got scared when the timer went insane. When I played a bit more, my greed got the best of me and I went insane, looting items like a madman. Now that I've unlocked everything and understand the game better, I once again appreciate a fast run. This is because the difficulty scaling is basically a combination of stage plus time, and especially during the first loop, time is going to be the defining factor. You should aim to spend as little time as possible on most stages. This means sometimes spending only 3 minutes on a stage, and that you definitely won't be looting every chest on every stage. Some people might be thinking, but items equal strength, I want every chest on every stage and get strong. Let's say you spend 7 or 8 minutes on each stage. You get good items, oh wow, what an awesome run, good job. You get bad items, now the run might be fucked. You can always pray to RNGesus for some good items and let him decide the course of your run. But if he does not answer your prayers, you'll be in a very tough spot. So, generally, it's best to go fast and not let RNG play the defining factor in your success. For now, just start aiming for an average of 4 minutes per stage. One thing to keep in mind here is the teleporter charge time, which is going to be about 1 minute and 35 seconds. If you count in the boss fight taking a few extra seconds, you possibly leaving the zone for a brief moment, and the time it takes to leave the stage after pressing the button, the total time between you activating the teleporter to you being in the next stage will be between 1 minute and 45 seconds and 2 minutes. It's good to know that if you leave the first stage before 4 minutes and 40 seconds, you can do the void fields on easy difficulty. Going fast, taking only 3, 4 or 5 minutes per stage is definitely not the only way to play, and looting for items and hoping for good printers can be a lot of fun, and very rewarding as well. But I'd advise to at least experiment with going fast, because by trying to adopt this playstyle, you'll learn to play thoughtfully and efficiently. Basically, it will create a challenge. That challenge creates the self-awareness required to improve. And once you master this, you will have an array of valuable options for your future runs, where you can then alternate taking 3 minutes one stage followed by, for example, 7 minutes on the next stage. Regardless of whether you want to follow the speedrun or looting strategy, time will stay important. So let's just go through the phases of a stage and consider quick ways to proceed. When you spawn in, you simply kill anything you see, since you probably need the gold. Then, as soon as possible, you search for the teleporter and make a mental note of any chest you see along the way. Keep in mind that the teleporter cannot spawn next to you, so if you cross the map through the middle or quickly find high ground, you can check most locations it can be. As a quick tip, you'll recognize the location of the teleporter by little sparks that surround it. Once you know where the teleporter is, you can either plan a route through the map or simply walk up and activate it. 2 things to keep in mind. First, during the first stages, you can wait for monsters to spawn, or you can just accept the fact that nothing spawns and move on, thereby saving that same time for later stages where more enemies spawn quicker and will allow you to keep on going without wasting a second. The second thing to keep in mind is that the reason you kill things is for gold. So if you have plenty of gold, you can save time by simply running past enemies to buy your hard-earned loot or make your way to the teleporter so that you can leave the stage. The first thing to remember is that the teleporter event will give gold. So if there are some chests nearby and you don't have the gold right now, it's best to earn the gold through the teleporter event itself. If you've seen a lot of unopened chests and really want to grind for items, it can still be a smart move to activate the teleporter anyway, since this increases the monster spawn. As long as the teleporter event doesn't finish, enemies will spawn in. This means that you can simply leave the teleporter zone around, let's say 95%, and keep killing things until you have your desired amount of gold. Also important to note is that grinding for more items is a privilege of the strong. If you are weak, you make slow kills, which means more time scaling, which means you are even more fucked if you get bad items. One reason that can always warrant your decision to grind for items is if there is a really good item printed that will guarantee you getting your time investment back. Now, let's say you activate the teleporter. The boss never spawns on the activation button itself, so depending on what spawns in, that could be a safe spot to stay until you see what's up. Then, when you see what's up, the first thing to consider is run or stay. If it's a normal boss fight, probably stay and start shooting. Horde of many, multiple mountain shrines, probably run, at least to the point where you are no longer being flanked. If things get extremely crowded, you can consider the scary tiny people toddler lizards and run away altogether. As they chase you, the teleporter zone will actually end up running empty, and as you loop around the map, it will become a safe zone in which you can casually charge it, at least for some time. Now at some point the teleporter event will end. Optional is to grab a chest near the teleporter. Situational is to scour the map for chests. In any case, if you are looking to be quick, once again, stop killing things if you don't need the gold. When you finally decide to leave and press the button, your gold will drain until it is 0 and you will then teleport to the next stage. So, once again, stop killing enemies if you are looking to go fast, because killing enemies gives gold, which will reset part of the timer. There is one little neat trick to carry a little bit of gold to the next stage. Any gold you gain during your teleport animation will be saved. So you could fix some gold at the very last moment and have a slight edge on the next stage. At some point you'll reach stage 5 and you are posed with the option to go to Mitrix, the final boss, or loop around back to stage 1. To make this decision, you can simply click on the contraption around the teleporter button. This takes you to Mitrix, and this makes you loop. If you loop, you'll hopefully end up at stage 8. At the end of stage 8, a celestial portal will appear. If you take the celestial portal, you'll be taken to this special map, which leads to a gate. Click on the gate once and a portal will appear. Click on the gate again to obliterate, click on the portal to go to stage 9 and continue playing. Every loop you'll be posed with the same options again. At the end of every stage 3 map you can choose to obliterate, and every time you reach Sky Meadows, stage 5, you can elect to go to Mitrix. If you want to keep looping indefinitely, the speed strategy will help you get to stage 8 at least, but eventually items are needed for damage. You can't avoid RNG forever, and this is where it becomes an inevitable and important part to at least have some of it. If you want to deal big damage during the mid game, Misc and alternate builds will work well, but once you get to the late game, you will need proc chains to kill enemies quick enough, which is discussed in the next video.